Welcome to the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're going to be with you every week throughout the regular season, the playoffs, and the Super Bowl, going through the NFL games that are going on each and every week. We are now entering week number 4 of the NFL regular season, and it's been kind of fun to watch how these games have been unfolding. A wild week 3, especially the early games. A lot of different things were happening.
Can I just say, I have never seen as many blocked field goals on one Sunday. It was just, I saw 4 of them live. I saw 2 at the Eagles game. I saw 1 at the Jets game, and then I saw 1 Sunday night. It was insane. I've never seen anything like this. And I feel bad for the people who are back in the LA Rams. Yeah. Not only did they get the field goal blocked, but the Eagles scored a touchdown on it and kind of screwed up their betting lines a bit. So,
well, like we always have been doing this season, we are going to look back at the Week 3 games and go through some of the highlights with stats as well as some of the other events. So let's look back and see what happened.
Hey, what happened?
All right, first up, as you were talking about the blocked field goals and everything in Week 3, here in the early slate of games,
the 1 o'clock
found
games.
This is all the 1 o'clock
games. Here on the
games.
East Coast, the 1 o'clock games,
There were 9 non-offensive touchdowns scored.
Yeah,
in the early slate of games, the 1 o'clock games, we had 4 pick sixes.
Yeah, I saw. What was the one I saw? It was at the.
I saw one of the Jets.
The Bengals. Yeah, you saw one of the Jets. I saw a Bengals game. I saw a picked up fumble.
Yep.
Go the other way. Then the field goals that were blocked.
Yep. We had 4 pick sixes. 2 blocked field goals returned for a touchdown, 2 punt returned for touchdowns, 1 fumble returned for a touchdown. It's the first time in NFL history all that has happened.
I mean, I don't know if that's just...
on the same day.
I don't know if that's great defense or just sloppy offense or maybe a little of both. It was absolutely wild.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Here's another thing that happened in the early slate of games. The Colts, Indianapolis Colts, had their first punt of the season the second quarter of the Week 3 game at the 9:20 mark.
That's insane. I heard that stat too, and I think we both won.
Yes.
For the show picks. We both won with the Colts, and absolutely incredible what's going on.
I will.
Daniel Jones. Look at him. Huh?
I will tell you this: the Colts will have 1 fresh punter by the end of the season because he only did the 1 punt in the game. Yeah. He's only had 1 punt this entire first 3 weeks of the NFL season.
I'll throw a stat at you. I don't know if you have this, but Daniel Jones is one of just 2 other Colt quarterbacks who have had back-to-back games when he's thrown a touchdown and ran for a touchdown. The other 2 were Peyton Manning and Johnny Unitas. Now, anytime your name is associated in any way with Johnny Unitas, you know you're doing something
especially
right.
As a Colt.
As a Colt, yeah.
Yes.
No, that's unbelievable.
Well, we got some other benchmarks to hit. Let's see what happened.
What happened?
Some interesting stats here that also happened in Week 3. The Buffalo Bills have scored 30 or more points in each of their first 3 games for the second straight season.
Wow.
Last time that happened, 1948-1949, San Francisco 49ers.
Wow. Okay.
Going to my team, the Jets, 3 straight new New York Jets coaches have started the year 0-3.
Okay.
Before these last 3, Gase, Saleh, and Aaron Glenn here, you have to go back to Lou Holtz.
Wow.
To find a coach that started 0-3, 1976.
By the way, I loved your coach's reaction on the sidelines.
We gotta get
that. That's gotta be a meme somewhere. That was just pure joy.
He came under fire for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
The press was all over him for celebrating like that. That was an incredible
Show a little
play.
emotion, for God's sake.
We have Aaron Rodgers passing Brett Favre to move number 4 all-time in touchdown passes. He now trails Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady.
Okay.
Indy, 103 points for the first 3 games of 2025, tied for second in team history. The only time they've scored more points in the first 3 games was when Don Shula was the coach.
Wow.
Yes, so they are doing some pretty good stuff here.
Oh, wow. What a great things happening in Indianapolis. Good for them.
Jonathan Taylor staying with Indianapolis.
Wow, look at this, yeah.
9th touchdown run of 40 or more yards, tying Hall of Famer Lenny Moore for most by any player in the franchise history.
Wow.
And then Seattle, Seattle had their 95-yard punt return for a touchdown. First one for Seattle. Number one was the longest in franchise history.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Longest punt return for a touchdown in Seattle history. And the first since Tyler Lockett back in 2015.
Wow. Okay.
So some really interesting stats here. The Jaguars, Jacksonville Jaguars, the 9 takeaways by the Jaguars are the most in franchise history over the first 3 games of the season.
Wow.
I don't know where they're finding the ability to take the ball away, but wow.
Yeah. And can I say something about the Jacksonville Jaguars? I know a lot of teams are doing their throwbacks. It's hardly noticeable with Jacksonville for me, anyway. I mean, I can't see it looks like a normal uniform to me. I mean, Tampa Bay. That was a drastic change of uniform. That was a change of color too. And by the way, the Cleveland Browns, good for them. They beat Green Bay, but I don't know what the hell those uniforms were.
That was
all black
earlier.
with the red things going through. Wow. Okay.
That was a way back throwback.
I never. Was that an actual throwback?
That's a throwback.
Oh,
yeah, that was a throwback.
It was from the 20s, 30s. What the hell was that?
That was way back for them.
I've never seen, other than the traditional Browns uniform, I've never seen anything like that.
And the elf in the midfield right there. So
that's strange.
But anyway, you brought up the Browns. Let's see what happened with us last week.
Yep.
Hey, what happened?
Well, not a good week for me. I went 1-2 against the spread.
I went 2-1. The one I lost, I went over in the Kansas City New York Giants game, and in my analysis last week, I said both these defenses are inept and mediocre. I should have said both these offenses are mediocre because, my goodness, I really thought that there was enough offense on both sides to get that over 45 points, and boy, was I wrong. I just awful. What a boring first half. It was just awful. I knew it was in trouble in the first half, the first quarter actually.
I have to admit, I lost on that Cleveland Browns game. I went with Green Bay, like most of the nation did.
Well, they were up 10-0.
The Browns had to do something historic because they were one of the only teams in NFL history to come back with 4 minutes left to win the game. They scored their 10 unanswered points or whatever it was without having to go to overtime. There's only one other team that did it back in 2023 was Tennessee Titans. So it was kind of interesting to watch history being made. I just wish it didn't happen against my pick. So kind of good with the bad on that one.
Yep.
But that's what we are. I went 1-2. You went 2-1 this past week. For the season-long stats, right now we are 5-4, tied.
We're
after
tied,
3 weeks.
huh?
Yes.
You know, I never keep track. The only way I know how we're doing is when you tell me before we make our next picks.
Well, if you ever look at the blog, I have the records for previous week and season long in a little table now at the top of the page.
Okay, so it's right there. So
kind of telling everyone you don't even bother looking at the blog.
I'm just lazy.
You're oblivious to the blog.
You know what? I'm focused on my picks.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I am.
By the way, turnpikesports.us, click on the blog button.
Yeah.
It's there.
Okay.
Trust me, it's there. There's also a link to the blog on the Pro Picks page.
Well, I know you have our
website,
picks
too.
there because I'm very conscious now of grammar and spelling when I write out my picks. So I know they're there. I didn't know you kept the record kind of thing. So, okay.
But that's it for looking back. We're going to start looking forward with our Week 4 picks right after the break. Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show, back after this.
Smoked cocktails have never been easier to make thanks to our Halo Drink Smoker. Simply place the cocktail smoker on your glass, light the wood chips until they start to smoke, and then top it off with the lid to infuse your drink with a delicious, new, smoky flavor.
Hey, Dave Weischadle from Turnpike Sports. I just got my dugout mug delivered and I am loving it. Dugout mugs are mugs made out of baseball bats, and they are officially licensed by Major League Baseball so you can get your favorite baseball team's logo on your mug. Just think of it, enjoying your favorite drink while watching your favorite baseball team with your team's logo on your mug made from a baseball bat. They can even make customized mugs. Check out the mug they made for Turnpike Sports. I mean, just look at that. That looks awesome. I've never seen anything like them. If you go to dugoutmugs.com, you'll find out they even make more things than mugs. They have baseball board games, grilling equipment made from baseball bats. They even have a section for gifts for under $30. Head on over to dugoutmugs.com because if you're a baseball fan or need a gift for a baseball fan, you have to check out Dugout Mugs. And use our promo code PIKE at checkout to get 20% off your purchase price. That's promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E. Also, free shipping with orders over $99. You can't beat that. DugoutMugs.com. That's my go-to place if I need a gift for a baseball fan. Well, if you excuse me now, the game is about to go on, and the wind is just right for drinking.
Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024, the Audien Atom 2 series offers superior sound quality and functionality for a fraction of the price. For just $189 a pair, the Atom 2 features 4 different hearing modes for all types of hearing loss. It packs crystal clear sound, a nearly invisible design, and is even rechargeable.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids. They're so comfortable, I forget I'm wearing them. And the sound is amazing.
The Atom Pro 2 is our smallest hearing aid yet, featuring advanced background noise cancellation and is the world's first hearing aid with built-in UV cleaning that kills 99% of bacteria.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed without seeing a doctor or having a hearing test.
Join over 500,000 happy customers today and get the hearing you deserve.
Call 1-800-457-0924 or go to audienhearing.com to get your pair of Audien hearing aids starting at just $189.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show. Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're here in week 4 of the NFL regular season. We just did our look back at what happened at week 3, and we are now going to look forward. And how do we do that? We do our pick segment by looking at some week 4 games. As always, we do 3 games each for the pick segment here. We do point spreads and totals. We do not do money lines. Got that right this time. I've been stumbling over that every single week so far. We use midweek lines, so please check the lines before you place any bets based upon what you're hearing. Again, we're doing this for ourselves.
Yeah,
this is fun for us. This is fun for us.
It's fun when we have a winning week.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess
it's
so.
not like we
Okay,
go 0-3.
Let me rephrase. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, our entertainment purposes.
Because we love entertaining ourselves.
Although I do put stuff on.
Yeah.
You know?
I wasn't going to say that out loud, but that's okay.
I do it. I don't care.
Anyway, here we are, week 4.
All right.
3 games each.
Okay.
Spreads and totals, no money line. We're using Caesars Sportsbook midweek lines. Here we have Caesars.com/sportsbook-n-casino, and they got a brand new offer for the new football season here. Football is back, and Caesars is game day ready with a great offer for new customers. Place your first bet of $1 or more and instantly get 100% profit boost up to $25 max per boost. Register now with our code PIKE20X at Caesars.com/sportsbook-n-casino, and you will be able to enroll into the 100% profit boost special offer. Terms and conditions apply. 21 and older. Gambling problem, 800-GAMBLER. All that out of the way, let's get to the picks. First game of the week, and it's the first game of the week for both of us because before we start filming, we tell each other what the games are for production purposes so we can line up what we're doing here so we don't look like idiots going over same game in different places. So here we are, week 4, first game of the week, and we're going overseas for this. This is the Ireland game.
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings favored by 1.5 at Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, they're both in Ireland, so there's really no home team in this. Over under 41.5. Here we are, NFL's first game in Dublin, and we get to see Aaron Rodgers playing Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Can I?
There's always last-minute possible changes. So.
I don't know who you picked or anything like that. We know what game we picked, but I don't know what you picked. Yeah, these two teams, they both won last week, but they looked really different winning their games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Carson Wentz. He looked pretty comfortable. Back there filling in for J.J. McCarthy. So I'm I don't mind Carson Wentz. I was a little worried when I saw his name last week, but he did pretty well. And he worked good in that offense. And, and Pittsburgh Steelers, they beat the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
and they didn't look really great doing it. So,
No, they needed some good plays to really beat the Patriots.
And you mentioned before, this is being played in Ireland, so there's really technically no home field, and so this is a neutral site. I that's what I consider a neutral site.
It is a neutral site.
Yeah.
But here we are on a neutral site, but if you think about it, this is going to be 3 straight road games for the Minnesota Vikings. If you think about this, Minnesota 4-1 in neutral site games. They're 3-2 against the spread, by the way. Pittsburgh is 1-2 outside the United States. They're 0-3 against the spread in neutral site games. That was a stat I found kind of eye-opening. I really thought they would have been a little bit better than that. Again,
that was the tipping point for me. It's in Ireland. It's there's no
throw the
home
stats
field.
out. Throw out the stats right now for this season, for this game. There's really not much analysis to really look at, especially when you're dealing with neutral sites. So I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt to Minnesota. They play well overseas. They're 4-1, like I said, 3-2 against the spread. Pittsburgh is 0-3 against the spread here. It's a 1.5 point spread in favor of the Vikings. I'm going to go Minnesota, lay the 1.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too. Minnesota, I think they're going to win by at least a field goal. I mean, it's just, this is the eye test. Like I said, they both won last week, but, they just looked completely different doing it. So, no, I'm taking Minnesota as well.
Okay, let's head on over to the second game of the week. Second game of the week for me, I have the Philadelphia Eagles 3.5 favorite, 3 points favorite. Sorry about that. 3 point favorites over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, over under a 45.5. I'm stumbling over this one. Both teams come into this game 3-0 after both nearly lost their week 3 games. Both of their games came down to final possessions. Both games included field goals returned for touchdowns. Tampa comes into this game 2-1 against the spread against the Eagles in their last 3 meetings. They're 5-1 straight up against Philly in their last 6. Baker Mayfield has led 3 last-minute drives to keep the Bucs 3-0. No other quarterback for Tampa Bay has done that. He tied Doug Williams for 2 in a row, but no one's ever done 3 in a row.
Okay.
And Philly has showed that they can be contained, especially with a team like the LA Rams, whose defense is similar to what Tampa Bay has. I really think where the Rams failed, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could succeed, especially with Todd Bowles' defense, which is probably one of the best units in the NFL, if not the best units, especially in their blitz area. Tampa's 2-0 as a home dog this season already, and I don't think that this is going to be a case where Baker Mayfield was going to have to lead last-minute drives to win the game here. I'm going Tampa Bay +3.
All right, my next game is the Baltimore Ravens, who are favored by 2.5 points against the Kansas City Chiefs with a total of 48.5. Look, Baltimore's one of the best teams in the league, and Kansas City has looked mediocre. I mean, I guess they've come down to earth. I mean, but Kansas City has played Baltimore very tough, and here's a stat I found. Kansas City has won 4 of the last 5 meetings with the Ravens and have covered the spread in 3 of them. I mean, this is a huge game for Kansas City. This might be, their year. This is the how good is Kansas City, because you're not seeing it yet. They're just not clicking. But I think this is the week where they kind of get on track and they play the Ravens pretty close, and I'm taking the underdog, Kansas City Chiefs. I always said if I saw Kansas City as an underdog, I'm going to go with them. I'm going to go with them, Kansas City Chiefs.
Look at that, pair of underdogs for the second picks here. All right, let's head on over to the last pick of the week. Last game for me, Los Angeles Chargers favored by 5.5 points at the New York Giants. The over-under is 44.5. I have never bet on the Chargers in this segment, ever.
Ever, really?
Ever. I've always, because I always see people getting bit in the butt by the Chargers, especially you. You've been bitten.
Oh
in the
my
butt so
God!
many times.
Every August, before this August,
yes.
They're going to win the West and stuff like that. And this August, I said, now they've killed me too many times. And what happens?
Yeah,
one of the best teams in football.
Well, here we are, Los Angeles coming into the game. They're 3-0 overall, 2-0-1 against the spread. They're also 7-2-1 over their last 10 games. New York, What are you going to say about New York? They're going to be doing some changes to that team sooner rather than later. I don't know if they're going to make out the season what they have right now. Yeah. Maybe they will. Who knows? They got to do a massive turnaround though. New York is 3-7 against the spread over their last 10. They're going 1-9 straight up over those 10. Not a good team overall. Good defensive line. I don't know if they have too much around it outside of that. Offense seems very questionable. I don't know if Russell Wilson's making a difference. We may see Jackson Dart playing a lot more as we go along. Sure. But it doesn't really get any prettier when you look at this game and their head-to-head matches. Chargers are 4-0 against the spread and 4-0 straight up against the Giants in their last 4 meetings. I'm thinking right now for this season, we may see Los Angeles go 4-0 after playing New York here. So I'm going to Los Angeles and laying the 5.5.
All right, my last game is the Washington Commanders, who are favored by 2.5 points against the Atlanta Falcons with a total of 45. This is going to be an interesting game. The Washington Commanders come into this game pretty injured, especially at quarterback, and the Atlanta Falcons have real trouble scoring. I mean, Carolina put 30 points on them, and they couldn't score against Carolina. It was 30-0. I mean, how do you do that against Carolina? I think this is going to be a tough game just because of the situations that both teams are in. I think the Commanders are going to win this by at least a field goal. I think it's going to be close. This might be one of those low-scoring games that come into the fourth quarter to be decided. But I'm not going to take a side, even though I think Commanders are going to win it. I think 45 is just way too many points that the books put on this for these two teams right now. So I'm taking the under 45.
All right, those are our 3 games for the week. Let's head on over and finish up the show and recap for everybody on the other side of the break. Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show back after this.
Sign up at jackpot.com and you can bet on the world's best lotteries where the biggest jackpots are up for grabs. Powerball, Mega Millions, some of the biggest lotteries can be found at jackpot.com. Simply choose your lotto game, pick your numbers, or use their quick pick feature, and you're done. Sign up at jackpot.com with code DRAW24 and get a free lottery ticket with your first deposit. Jackpot.com, it's the world of lotto in your hand.
Terms and conditions apply. You must be at least 18 years old and in the United States to play. Void where prohibited. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back, everybody. Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show. Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We just did our picks for the upcoming Week 4 slate of games, 3 games each, spreads and totals, no money lines like we always say here. And let's recap for our audience. Why don't you go ahead?
Well, I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings and laying the 1.5 points against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Ireland. I'm taking the underdog Kansas City Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm taking the under 45 points in the Washington Commanders Atlanta Falcons game.
And I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings, since they're in Ireland.
Vikings.
Laying the 1.5. Philadelphia Eagles Buccaneers game, I'm going with Tampa Bay +3, and I'm going with the Chargers and laying the 5.5 against the Giants. Those are our 3 games of the week each. Check us out, turnpikesports.us. You hit on the blog button, you'll see the picks in print form there. Please feel free to comment anywhere you see the blog. You can go info@turnpikesportsradio.com, Twitter, X, whatever you call that monster, Turnpike Bets, Turnpike Sports, Instagram, Turnpike Sports Radio, Facebook, Turnpike Sports as well. Comment wherever you see. Reach out to us. Let us know your picks for the week. And as always, we use midweek lines here, so check the lines before you make your bets. Caesars.com, we use their lines this week, so please, again, they may change, they may not. But
I think a lot will change.
They may.
It's a lot of moving parts in the NFL.
Especially with Ireland games. Absolutely. Overseas games always change. So check the lines before you place your bet, and bet responsibly. Play with your head. Bet with your head, not with your heart.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike. Good luck, everyone.